Hello and welcome to this Monday message, and welcome to all the new followers and members that have come on in the last week. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. So my name is Rachel Skoltok. I'm an angel medium, an energy therapist. I'm a vibrational healer, and I really help people to transform their lives through releasing the pain that sabotages them. And some of the pain that sabotages you is what I call soul wounds, or other people have also called witch wounds, which I love that word. But they are experiences, traumas that you have been through that have left their mark on you to the point that you've developed patterns, unhealthy ways of being, and it's affected your energy field. I'm a law of attraction expert too. So when your energy isn't right, you radiate the wrong energy out into the universe, and sometimes you repel the very thing that you are trying to attract. And that's why some people think that the law of attraction doesn't work, or they think it only works sometimes. You're always attracting, you're always magnetizing, you're always drawing your thoughts, your beliefs, your expectations, your fears, and the things that you're passionate about towards you. But sometimes what we have to get the idea of is that our energy is the thing that is magnetizing and attracting. So that's a combination of our thoughts, our mental patterns, the subconscious patterns that we're carrying, the things that are maybe in our karma. By that I mean things that we've been through in this lifetime or another that are having an effect on our energy patterns. And so, for instance, you might be attracting relationships that are not great. They might have all the same theme, like they're abusive or toxic, or they're just non-committal. But those relationships that keep repeating for you aren't because you're doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. But there's a pattern, there's a soul wound. There's a wound in there, which is old karma that needs to be healed, released, and balanced. And once you heal that, once you release it, once you let it go with intention and knowledge and insight, then that experience goes away. The pattern heals. I've seen it happen time and time again. It's happened in my own life and in the life of the clients that I've worked with. So some people that I've been working with have been having trouble in their business. They're creative, beautiful, talented, skilled, but they're not getting the people that they want through the doors. One particular lady I've been working with, who is a healer, she's just not attracting the right kind of clients. She's attracting clients that don't want to spend the money. She's attracting clients who are really only want to come and have a little go and never come back again, or they want a massive discount, or they want to pay, in installments. And that's because of a wound that we identified inside of her, which was pushing away the clients that she wanted and was keeping her in a level of poverty. It was an old karmic cycle that she was living. And when we released that, she put out a new ad for her work, and she started to attract lots and lots of really great people she wanted to work with, people that were excited to work with her, people who wanted to pay for her services. And I mean, she is so talented. I was very tempted, although I've got a bit of a rule that I don't work with people that are my clients. I was so tempted to go and have a session with her and buy her program because she's pretty amazing. Now, as a therapist, a healer, an angel medium, a vibrational healer, I've also written 2 books. One is Loving Your Sensitive Self, which is about sensitive, super sensory people who need to learn how to properly protect and clear their energy. And that really helps with balancing old karma and helping you to get rid of some of those energies that are intruding on you, but also to learn more about yourself, right? And this is my more recent one, which is 2 years old, which is My Life with Angels, which is how to access the wisdom and healing of the angels and how the angels really can help you, with a little bit of my own story wound in, only to demonstrate how the angels work. So I've been doing this for a really long time. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is the ways that you can recognize that you have a soul wound, and how to then, once you recognize it, you'll start to get insights as to how to heal it and how to move forward. So I know some of you are here, but I just can't see you because for some reason Facebook's not showing me. But anyway, or Instagram's not showing me either. So one of the wounds the ways that the soul wound or the witch wound will show up for you is that you're finding yourself in a cycle of poverty. It's like feast or famine, or you just keep hitting that same barrier where it doesn't seem to be quite enough, or you can't get past that ceiling of income. Maybe you've got so used to struggling that it doesn't feel like a soul wound anymore. You're a light worker, you're a mystic, you're connected, you're intuitive. So you've figured out ways to be resourceful. But what I want to tell you is, spiritually, we are connected to an infinite field of abundance. Like, if you just look outside, I'm looking outside my window, there's beautiful nature out there. If you look outside in nature, there are times, of course, when nature goes through cycles of, maybe it's winter and all the trees lose their leaves. But generally, nature provides for the creatures, for the trees, for the plants. So they're always connected to this source of infinite abundance, and they don't worry about it. But we tend to interfere with the field of abundance with our own thoughts, our fears, and all of these wounds that get in the way. So we start getting more tuned into scarcity rather than to prosperity. Now, that's a whole new seminar, but and I teach about it in my programs. But if you recognize that you go through this kind of, well, not quite enoughness, then that's, and it's been there for a while, you keep hitting it, it's a sign that there is a soul wound there. Now, that wound or that trauma, that incident, that event could be recent. It could be something that you've been through recently. Maybe you created a cord to someone who told you that you weren't good enough. Or it could be something that's old that keeps repeating for you. And when it's old, when it's a witch wound, often it's for light workers who feel afraid of putting themselves out there. There's a part of them that feels a bit icky about earning good money, selling, like my healer friend, selling her services for a good price, receiving more than just bartered goods in exchange for services. And so subconsciously, you're keeping yourself poor because there's some message, maybe from a past life, maybe it's just from mass consciousness, that, oh, it's a gift and you shouldn't earn money for it, or you don't deserve to earn money for it. So that is a wound, especially if it's been happening to you for a long time, or it's a cycle that you go through. It's something that you need to release, a past life trauma or a this lifetime trauma that keeps you in the belief that you have to struggle and that you don't have the right to abundance. Everyone has a right to abundance. There's no spiritual test out there. Of course, we all go through our learning. Like the times when I lived in poverty, right at the beginning of starting this business 15 years ago, taught me so much. It taught me about the law of attraction, but I launched out of it. I didn't stay in it. If I'd have stayed in it, then that would have been a chronic pattern of sabotage that I was doing to myself to hold myself back, and being exhausted, overgiving, working for too little, never always giving away all of the good energy or the good money or the good material things that you have, and never keeping it for yourself. That's a pattern that is ancient, and you need to heal it. Another side effect of that is wanting to keep yourself invisible, being afraid to show yourself or tell people what you do, what you're good at, having panic about maybe writing a blog or putting messages up on Facebook, being afraid of judgment, overthinking, being worried about what people think of you on social media, if you put your truth out there. All of that is an ancient witch wound, because you're afraid of persecution, you're afraid of punishment, you're afraid of judgment, criticism. I used to say that I used to be afraid that people were going to come up the pathway with pitchforks and flaming torches to get me when I first put the sign out on my gate that I did angel work, that I was a spiritual and energetic healer. That was 16 years ago. I would wake up at 3 a.m. every night, like sweating and having this panic. And I could, in my mind's eye, I could see them coming up the path. Of course, that didn't happen physically. That was a past life memory that was triggering me. And if I had allowed it, if I hadn't released it with the help of my angels and the energy work, I would have perhaps taken that sign in and packed up and just said, oh, look, I'll just be a massage therapist and do my stuff secretly behind the scenes. That stuff is real. It's there in the collective consciousness. It's there in your personal experience in some form or another. I've been persecuted many times in this lifetime by people who believe I'm doing the wrong thing by doing this work. I laugh about it now. It's fine. It's part of the learning that I had to go through. But you don't have to go through it. That was my journey. And look, nobody killed me. Nobody damaged me. It's just words, and we know how to overcome those. So when you heal the pattern goes away, and then you allow yourself to receive the abundance that the universe is bringing to you. If you keep yourself stuck, I'm going to be invisible, I'm going to be small, I'm going to keep myself low, then you're not going to allow abundance in. You're not going to allow good things in. You're not going to allow love in. You're not going to feel your highest potential this lifetime and in your soul's path. So another way that the witch wound shows up, starvation, poverty, it's all connected. It is also not being able to lose the weight that you want to lose. Now, I'm not talking about for the sake of body image or everybody should be a certain size. I don't believe that at all. But sometimes people are holding on to excess unhealthy weight because they've got a witch wound or a soul wound that is to do with starvation. That's one thing. Having lived through a drought, a famine, or having a fear about being deprived in some way makes you literally stay in fear, which of course when you're in fear you release hormones like cortisol, which tell your body to automatically hold on to weight, which means that even if you do the diets and the exercise, you'll still have that layer of fat around your tummy. But also, it's also about if I let go, then I'm going to be vulnerable. I might be unprotected. I might die. You know, it's a subconscious fear wound. It's a fear belief. So that's something to think about too, that the poverty and starvation can be interwound. And I've worked with people where we've healed when they've been slaves in a past life, when they've been through a famine, and they're literally stopping their business from earning money and having clients because they're terrified. They're in this state of fear, and fear never attracts, it always repels. The third way that you know that you have a soul wound that needs healing is perfection, where you don't allow yourself to do what you really want to do in the world because you think you've got to wait until you look perfect, until you create the perfect content, the perfect business, the perfect product. You won't let yourself have love because you're not the right weight or age, or you're just waiting for perfection. And that is something that some people are very proud of, you know, and it's good to have high standards. I have high standards in my business too. I have professional standards. But if we all wait until the moment that everything is perfect, we are holding ourselves back from receiving the abundance, the love, the good things that the universe is giving to us. It is a form of self-sabotage. It's a form of procrastination. It keeps you stuck. And whilst you're trying to make everything perfect, which by the way, you'll never get perfect, you're not allowing yourself to grow. You know, if I when I started these videos, God knows how long ago now, at least 8 years ago, the lighting was terrible, the sound was terrible. I was only using a very old laptop, which was all I could afford at the time, with a terrible camera. But lots of people got angel messages over those years. Lots of people loved those messages. Lots of people ended up being clients of mine because they enjoyed my Monday messages, and I still do my Monday messages today. They're a little bit better lighting, but that doesn't make any difference, because the point is if I'd have waited until it was perfect, I would never have got there. I've gotten better at these videos. I've learned more because I started somewhere. If you never start, you never grow. You never get better. You're putting a inhuman, unnecessary, illusionary form of restriction on yourself if you're waiting for things to be perfect. So ask yourself, am I waiting for things to be perfect before I can begin? Am I waiting for myself to be perfect? Am I judging myself and saying I'm not good enough to do what I'm doing? And you could instantly heal that witch wound straight away. If it's a deeper witch wound, you know, I worked with a lady once. She came to me to learn Reiki, and she was learning Reiki 1 and 2. And the minute we went from talking about it to actually doing it was the moment she had a massive panic attack. She had a massive panic attack. She could hardly breathe. She was sobbing. She had a rash all over her neck because she had an ancient witch wound where she had been, and she remembered it whilst I was talking to her and trying to calm her down. She was having visions of being burnt at a stake. And I know, sounds crazy. Sounds, you know, lots of people out there would say that's woo-woo bullshit, but it's not. She had held herself back all of her life from learning something that she really wanted to do. And it was only for her and her family at that stage. She wasn't planning on becoming a professional healer, because of this old wound that was in her back brain that had been holding her back, keeping her poor, keeping her stuck, keeping her small all of this time. And when we got to that point, and then we were able to take her through that, clear the cord, release the past life, and she went on and completed her Reiki 1 and 2. And after that, she just had a bit of a glow about her. She was a lot more confident, a lot more willing to be herself around people instead of kind of shrinking and just trying to be, you know, hidden and invisible. So, you know, what resonates with you with what I've said today? You're keeping yourself stuck in some way. How does that resonate with a witch wound, an old trauma, maybe this lifetime, maybe another lifetime, where you've been told you can't do it because something bad is going to happen, or you're trying to avoid persecution, punishment, death, being beaten, being humiliated, being mocked. You know, they're irrational fears, but they can keep you stuck for a really, really long time. So I'm just checking my notes and making sure that I have said everything I wanted to say today. So I've just given you that. Maybe you want to journal about it, have a think about it. If you would like to work with me to do healing on anything that is holding you back, healing the past, releasing the pain, the limitation, the disempowerment that is sabotaging your life, that is stopping you from receiving what it is that you want, from creating your heart's desire, I have an amazing transformational program. It's 12 weeks where you can work one-on-one with me. I'm also working with building a group program where you can do some live training with me and learn from me about how to unleash your spiritual gifts, how to awaken and become a lit up psychic divine woman, how to heal and release those witch wounds, how to heal your divine feminine and unleash the creativity that's within you. I'm about to launch that. I'm so excited about it. I've never been more excited about a program that I'm doing. So get in touch, register your interest for that. And I've put my booking link for booking a free one-on-one half-hour divine chat with me, which is discussing the program and how it can help you. I'll also put the link up for having a soul clarity session with me, which is a 1 hour or 90-minute private healing session, intuition, angel messages, guidance, and energy therapy. Lots of love to you and have a great week. Angel blessings. Mwah.